Happy Friday. This is another episode with me, Ashley Renee, and this is More Than Rubbing. And this is just my little self-help journal for, yourself and myself, because we all just trying to be better out here. But guess what most people are getting ready for right now? And that's back to school. So we're going to be hearing a lot of parents yelling at their kids, talking about Johnny had 4 apples and Susie had 2. If Ethan added 3 more, how many is that? Like, we tired of having this argument. So I brought my good friend. She's laughing at me already. I brought my good friend LaTonia Bland. She is a mathematician genius. She got my son and my niece together in the math department, for real. Like, within a few weeks, grades went up like 2 or 3. So she's the person y'all need to go to, and I'm sure y'all see her all on Buy Black Louisville as well. But hey, say what's up.
Hi, everybody.
That was so bland.
It was bland.
That was so bland. Hi, everybody.
What's up, y'all? Listen,
exactly.
Don't be a
typical nerd. Come on now.
It's been a long day. It's classroom setup day.
Yeah.
In a whole new position this year, so that means a whole new classroom.
Okay.
And then I got, 12, 13 years worth of stuff to move. So y'all know how that goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I cannot believe you have me on this show.
I can get anybody on the show. For real.
Clearly you can, because you got me on here. I done turned down WDRB. I done turned down Wave 3. I done turned down Spectrum.
But you didn't turn me down. You didn't turn me down. Just tell me I'm the GOAT. Tell me I'm the GOAT. Say I'm the GOAT.
You gotta be. You must be.
I'm the GOAT. Thank you. I'll accept that honor. But let's talk about this 2022-2023 school year. Like, what's new? What's old? Like, what's going to happen this year?
This is definitely the most interesting year that I've had in, my years of teaching.
Okay. Why is
that? Simply because of shortages. This is the first time I've ever experienced a situation where we don't have enough teachers, we don't have enough bus drivers, we don't have enough support staff. I just found out yesterday that we need like over 150 assistants in classrooms. So, it's going to be interesting. And then, now people can choose what school they want to go to, they want their kids to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Which the kids are pretty much choosing.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see these students who may have chosen schools that they may not be ready for. So it's going to be a huge change for them. I'm thinking psychologically, the style of teaching may be different. I know some students who are going into the traditional programming, which is a much faster pace. It's just going to be an interesting year. 2022, 2023 is going to be interesting. That's all I can say.
So that means all kids are returning back to the classroom.
And for the most part, yes. I do believe, the virtual aspect is still an option.
Okay.
Of course, homeschooling is still an option. On Facebook, you see all kinds of little stuff or whatnot. A lot of people got a lot of complaints about a lot of things.
Don't we all? We all complain about things that we don't want to have a part in, right? That's how I like to look at it. As an open, see, my child is 21 now, so I can say this. As a parent in JCPS school system, I had a lot of complaints, but I just learned to just shut up and sit back because that was not my position. I'm gonna let y'all handle this.
Well, as a parent, you have every right to your opinion and to voice your concerns. Every parent has the right to do that.
Okay.
You gotta advocate for your kids. I mean, I'm not against people advocating for for what they feel, what they believe.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of times people are not as informed about things as they probably could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the complaints are beyond teachers' control.
Yeah.
Even beyond administrative control.
Yeah.
Even beyond the board's control. I think a lot of complaints that are coming through to us are things that we really cannot deal with.
So what can we deal with right now?
Well, I think the number one thing that happens when school starts and during the school year is a lot of people have an expectation of us putting out community and neighborhood fires.
Yeah.
We really are not equipped to do that. Personally, speaking for myself, I don't want to get involved in things that are not school related. But somehow it ends up being, you know,
you end up being that person.
Things that happen that does not have anything to do with school at all. I don't think any of those complaints should come through to us. I think one parent should go knock on the door of the other parent and try to figure out what they can do to fix whatever's going on with these kids.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how we build our communities. But again, a lot of people don't want to accept it. It is what it is, right? They don't want to accept it. They don't want to play a part.
I don't think people understand the position it puts a lot of us in.
Yeah.
And we don't say much about it. We got to be very careful about what we say and, what we do. The last thing I want to do in this day, with everything that goes on, I don't want to involve myself personally in nothing. But if it's something that I can talk to kids about and try to rectify a situation, then, I would do that. But just most stuff, it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with school. It has nothing to do with us. We can't control Instagram beefs and Facebook beefs and Snapchat beef. We can't control that. That's something that we can't control. And to want us to handle it and deal with it is, it's kind of asinine to me, but that's just me, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
If everybody else want to deal with it, they can do whatever they want to do. But yeah, that's interesting. There really aren't too many other complaints. The latest complaint I've seen on the book is, people complaining about why are there so many Black students in a particular school.
Well, hold that thought because we're going to take a break, okay? Why are there so many Black students in a particular school? Stay tuned. This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in. are back, and we both are Black. We're going to talk about why there's some Black students in majority of schools, right? That's where we ended at. Which I don't think it's a problem, having too many Black people in one area. I love it.
No, the weird, let me say, the interesting thing is the particular school that the issue is with is a historically Black school.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm like, now all of a sudden people got a problem with Black kids being in a historically Black school. I don't get it.
Well, I don't get it when it comes to Black, but I get it when it comes to like gender, like, you know, when there's too many females in one room, it's just like, oh shit, is this gonna be an power moment, or it's gonna be gossip? So I don't know which way it's gonna go. You come in a little different mood one day, and then everything just turns upside down, and you just like, I was just in my own headspace at the moment. Like, so I kind of understand. But when it comes to, you know, the ethnic part, like too many Black people, I don't care. But there's always a difference.
I don't know where it's all coming from. Like, I don't know if somebody wanted their kid to get into school and they didn't get in. So they're like, you know, how my kid didn't get in, and, you know,
yeah,
the ratio is off. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think people just find anything to complain about. I don't know.
I complain about every little thing. I don't complain. I critique. I would be like, you know what? I like this, but I don't like that. I critique. I give you your pros and cons. I guess that's the management coming out of me. It's like, you know, I'm going to give you the sandwich. I'm going to give you your compliment. Then I'm going to give you your criticism. Then
I need you to come. I need you to get to my truck so you can compare that stuff they passing as ice cream off.
Don't talk about that.
What I got on this truck.
Don't talk about that ice cream.
I'm gonna need you to critique that.
Don't talk about that ice cream.
And quit playing with your own taste buds.
Don't judge my taste buds. I love their ice cream. Don't judge me. So let's talk about your ice cream truck. What is it? Because you got your students working it, right?
Yeah, so my ice cream truck, brain freeze cones for a cause.
Okay.
And I built my truck because I was trying to raise funds in order to open my own math academy.
Okay.
Now, you know, in our community, in the Black community, raising funds is a very, very difficult thing to do.
It is.
If you don't have something to give them for, you know, the monies that they give.
Yeah.
So I tried I went through the asking phase, and it's like nobody wanted to really support. So I got to thinking, you know what, where there is will, there's a way. Mm-hmm. So I brainstormed and was like, what is it I can do to, you know, what's missing? Mm-hmm. One of the things I took into account is the fact that every person that moves into our city and starts a business becomes very successful. Very successful.
Really?
And people locally complain about it. That's another complaint. Okay. They complain about it. Well, instead of complaining, I went to those people who I know that were not from here, who started businesses that were very successful. I just went to them and was like, yo, like, you came in our town and just kind of took over the situation. Like what were you thinking? Like, what were your thoughts? And basically, they come in and they feel a void. Mm-hmm. I saw a void. I saw that we didn't have this, and I saw that every last one of them. And I went to probably 5 or 6 people. Mm-hmm. You know, we got here, and, you know, they're from other cities, bigger cities. A couple of them are from small cities, but they noticed there are things in their cities that we don't have in ours. And that's all they did, was they started a business that was really not, you know, cracking at the time, and they just took it over. So I was like, what can I do? What is missing in the West End? What is missing in the West End? Oh, The shave ice trucks don't come to the West End unless it's a huge event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no hand dipped ice cream in the West End. Okay. There's no hand dipped premium ice cream. Okay. And then there's no water ice in the West End.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? There it is.
Yeah.
So my truck, I specifically designed my truck off the back of what was lacking in the West End as a way to tap into some of the funding that's in the West End that I know that I could get. And so, you know, that was that. My truck is a fundraiser basically. And as I was working on the truck, and you know, I do math, I started to realize how many math standards and concepts are covered in the ice cream industry, which, by the way, let me add, not very many Black people are involved in the ice cream industry. It's like $100 billion industry.
Dang.
And Black people are really not tapping into it for real.
Maybe I need to tap into some ice cream. Shoot.
Hey. But anyway, yeah. So I thought about it. I said, you know, how many ice cream shops have I been in? And a Black child actually, you know, was working. A Black child waited on me. And I got to thinking, not really any.
Because most of the ice cream places are out east, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, they're out east.
Not to say, because Black kids go out east and get jobs, but I've never really walked into an ice cream shop, none of your megas, I'm not gonna say no names, but none of your megas, and been waited on by a Black kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, Black kids can scoop ice cream, so let me just start this Scoops and Scholars program.
Yeah.
So yes, I do have students who I am training to work on my truck with me, and they can run my truck without me. I've trained them so well. And I just turned it into a program. I'm covering several math standards in you know, hands-on, minds on. I'm making real world connections. There's even a little bit of chemistry involved in the process. So, you know, I thought it was a fun idea. I thought it was it's very powerful in that real connections are being made in a lot of these concepts. So yeah, I started the Schools and Scholars program. And those who are training on my truck will be working in the shop that I'm opening in Southland Terrace.
And when is that opening? It's already open, right?
No, it'll be open in a couple of weeks or so.
So you just yelled at me for not coming out, and you ain't look. We about to. I'm about to go.
Yeah, you ain't get to the truck, and I got an issue with you. You done had insomnia cookies, nasty ass ice cream, but you ain't been to the brain freeze.
They deliver. Roll your truck up on me. You know where I stay at now. Well, some way. Bidet, just like Ashley, honk the horn with your truck, and I will be out there because I love me some ice cream.
Yeah, but we're gonna need you to make it over to the spot. You as one of the parents, as one of my former parents. Well, you still once my parent, always my parent.
Yeah.
But as you know, I feel like everybody who has had a child in my program has invested in what I'm doing now. I actually do have my academy spot. It's in Southland Terrace. And since I've combined the ice cream and the mathematics that I'll be covering in the ice cream program, I decided to dual use the space that I have. So when you first walk into my academy, it's an ice cream shop that will be run by my students.
Okay. And then the back is
so you'll walk into an ice cream shop and be served by a Black and brown child
that knows how to count.
Who knows? They better. They better. My students go through that. Ashley, you know, I don't play.
You do not play. You
when
helped
it comes
out
to
Chase.
what I do.
You helped out
my
Chase
students.
A
not
lot.
not only that, they're doing the food service manager course.
Okay.
So that when they leave me, so the goal is for me to get them trained. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff. They're gonna make their own cones. They're gonna flavor the cones. They're gonna make banana splits, milkshakes. They're gonna do ice cream cakes, ice cream pies. I do have students who, you know, I got a couple of students who are already bakers So they already know how to decorate. They're going to teach some other kids. You know, it's going to be like a peer.
And that's a good industry too.
A peer educator type thing as well.
Okay.
And I'm training them to be able to go out in the East End, if that's where they choose to go, and get a job.
Okay.
Because technically they're not considered my employees.
Right.
Okay.
Right. They're like volunteers.
It is a class.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because it is a class. So we look at it as, you know, part of it as a work study. It helps in terms of paying for sessions.
Okay.
So they can work in lieu of paying sessions.
Well, hold that thought, because we're going to take a break and we're going to complete what it all covers, okay?
All right.
Grab some water and be right back. This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in. And we are back. So, Ms. Bland, go ahead and finish your thought.
Hey.
Huh?
I don't know what I was talking about. I forgot where I left off. Come on, all these pauses and stuff. You know I'm old, girl. I can't remember stuff all the time.
Yeah, you are old. That's all right.
No, but
hey, I'm getting old too. I ain't gonna argue with folks. You say you old. Shit.
You know, COVID brain and all that, you know, all this stuff.
I got nothing but love for you.
But anyway,
I got nothing but love for you.
I believe I was speaking on how my students who work, it's kind of like a work study type situation.
Yes. So
they can work in lieu of payment, or they can volunteer, you know. But yeah, Scoops and Scholars. I thought it was a pretty neat concept.
I like the name Scoops and Scholars. I guess. Do you deliver?
Yeah. We possibly could if you pull up on us. Pull up, call in your order, and I'll have it delivered out the door.
I sure will. Dang, don't play with me.
Our little spot is a carry out only. We ain't got you can't come in and sit down and all that.
That's all right. No, we don't need folks sitting inside anyways.
Right. You know, I got students, you know, in the next room, learning. So, you know, just a little. We're gonna try it, see how it goes.
Okay. Well, I want to hear some of your success stories about your students.
Some of my success stories?
Yeah.
They're all success stories.
Okay. So tell me about them.
Majority of my students, you know, I got several that have gotten scholarships. They're, you know, these kids come to me, and my first question to them is, what is a fraction? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go from what is a fraction all the way up to, you know, advanced. They go into being able to take college level algebra as seniors, which gets them college credit. And then from there, they go on and they get, take the ACT. They do well enough to get scholarships. And then they go on and be great. So many of my students, and then I got into where I got them, started getting them summer jobs. You know, Miss Ada that just passed away, she was one of the people who hired my students. She was like, I know if you're working with them and they're working with you, then I know that they can come and work with me. So she took, many of my students in and gave them their first jobs. And then they went from her on to, other things or whatnot. Okay. So that's how I got into the whole, getting kids work for the summer or whatnot. I never knew that I would actually be having them working with me, but, it happens. And now I'm in a position where my college students can come back, can be, they can tutor in the summer.
Okay.
They can run their own little math camps or whatnot. What's another success story? I've been successful in identifying our engineers, your son being one of them.
Yeah. You called him out on day one.
Because I know that he's gone off into his world of plumbing and engineering.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was from the first day that I assessed him.
Yep.
I've had a few of those. As a matter of fact, one of the number one goals I had in creating this whole math situation was to identify the data tells us and research tells us that 13% of kids who live in poverty are gifted and talented. They're our geniuses.
They are.
So one of the things I set out to do was try to identify as many of our geniuses, our natural geniuses, as possible, so that we can make sure that they were on the track to greatness. Because somewhere they get lost.
Okay, so how do we help identify those geniuses, and how do we navigate them? How do we steer them into the right direction if we don't know about you?
Now that's the hard part.
Okay.
With this stuff, you have to be very intentional. What do I mean by that? You have to be looking for them.
Yeah.
Many of them happen up on us. And I'm going to tell you where I find some of my most intelligent Black boys. Where I find them is when their parents are calling me and they're telling me that their kids are getting kicked out of class every day. And for their behaviors. Sometimes their behaviors, yeah. So a lot of my gifted Black and brown boys are identified because of the behavior. But see, it takes one to know one. Yeah. So a lot of times, because I was a behavior challenge as a middle schooler or whatnot, a lot of times we misbehave because, maybe we're bored. Maybe things are not moving fast enough for us.
I get that. I'm as an adult, I get bored very easily.
Yeah, so sometimes if we're not challenged properly, our kids, then it comes out in a negative light. Instead of taking this kid and testing them to see if they're a genius, or instead of taking them out of the class they're in and putting them in a faster paced class to see if that's the issue, we just automatically want to label them. You know what I mean? We automatically want to start paperwork on them to speak to the behavior.
I'm all about transplanting people. I'm all for that. I feel like I'm all for transplanting people, like putting them in different environments, like doing the same. You can do the same thing, but you may just need to be moved into a different environment so you can thrive.
Yeah, that too. A lot of times, though, that's not an option. Yeah. So like, and that brings me to probably another success story I have. I had a kid, I was tutoring his little brother, and mom would come in and say, I need to bring my oldest son to you because, he's getting kicked out of class every day. He's sitting with the principal every day. And I'm like, well, what is he learning not going to class? And she's like, right, he's not learning. So I told her, look, bring him in, let me assess him, and we'll see what we're working with. She brought him in. I gave him an assessment, and I said, you know what? Your son's a genius. Your son is sitting in a behavior class, and he needs to be in the advanced class, if not the gifted class.
Because he needs to be challenged.
So that was 8th grade year. He went from getting kicked out of class every day to killing it out in high school.
See?
Many times I had to advocate with mom to get him out of certain classes because those classes were holding him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up going to get in the engineering program at GE and ended up going to college.
See?
So 8th grade year, he was getting kicked out of class every day.
Mm-hmm.
Toward the end, I got him around the middle of the year. From the middle of the year, worked him through the summer.
And now they
got him where he needed to be. He was destroying the math in the school he was in.
Mm-hmm.
So they had no choice but to put him in regular classes.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ended up in advanced classes, and then from there he ended up a college student. He's a college student to this day.
See, look at you changing lives.
People sleep on my skill set. They sleep on me. But Ashley, I'm telling you, they got about 3 years to utilize what it is I bring to the table. And there's no one else in this city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't used to say this, but I'm going to go on and say it because it's a fact.
Say it, and we're going to end the show. Go ahead.
There's no one else in this city who can do what I do.
I believe it.
And to not make an investment in me is a tragedy.
I believe it.
It's tragic.
For the community,
and I won't even talk about the mega entity that the $1 million deal was done with.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna talk about that, but the village is gonna have to wake up.
Yeah.
And get their kids.
Yeah.
Get their kids with me so I can, get them to their greatness.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you go so you can continue on with your greatness. But thank you. And I am going to stop by and get some ice cream. And I'm going to give you a shout out on all platforms. And I'm going to have you back on.
And then you're going to be calling me trying to get me and my students to deliver.
Yes.
Real ice cream. Because what you're eating right now is not even classified.
Look, we're not going to talk about this because it's real. It's real. Because
what she's eating is not classified as ice cream. It's a bunch of bad chemicals with the ice cream flavors.
You get me?
It's not ice cream.
You get me? You get me? Forget you.
Brain freeze comes for a cause.
Yes. Tell them. And what's
Let us freeze your brain.
In your ice cream shop, what's it called?
It's inside my Math Academy. So Math Academy of Louisville. When you walk in, my Scoops and Scholars program. So it's a collaboration between Math Academy of Louisville and Brain Freeze comes for a cause. Scoops and Scholars. So when you come to the Math Academy, you can come and visit. You can come and bring your kid, put them in the program, or y'all can come and support by getting some ice cream, some real ice cream, shave ice, water ice, banana splits made with real ice cream, warm cookies.
With real ice cream. But anyways, I'm gonna cut you off right there because if you say real ice cream one more time. But thank you for gracing me with your presence. And I just want every parent and teacher to have a good 2022-23 school year. And let's not yell at the kids because they didn't understand or comprehend the math question. Okay?
If Johnny had 8 damn apples,
how many does he have left? No more of that. But anyways, y'all check me out next Friday. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to figure something out. So drink your water with lime. This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.